So what's good, y'all? We back with another video, and it's about that time. It's already that time that we start these standing predictions. Training camp is right around the corner. We are in September, and I think it's a good time to talk about the Eastern Conference because, as we all know, the Eastern Conference has improved a lot via trade, via free agency, via draft. This whole offseason, the East has made some moves, and I thought now would be a good time to talk about the Eastern Conference standing predictions. So let's get right into it, starting off at number 15. We're going from the bottom all the way to the top. The Indiana Pacers. Now, the Indiana Pacers, I think, will finish with the worst record in the Eastern Conference. And it's no slight towards them. It's more so the fact that the team is so young, and Tyrese Halliburton is their best player. But, I just don't see them being just flat out better than these other teams. That's really what it comes down to. I don't think the Pacers are going to fail out a rebuild. I think they'll make some good progress. They got some nice, young, talented players on the roster, but they're just not going to win games. That's flat out the truth. So at number 15, really short summary, the Indiana Pacers will be at the bottom of the East, in my opinion. Now, at number 14, I got the Orlando Magic. Now, I know I've been gassing up the Magic a lot in the offseason, but I did say in my rebuild video that this team is not going to win a lot of games this year. Maybe down the road they will, but just not this year. I think they finish with about 30 wins. That's pretty good for a nice young team. Paolo Banchero, I think, is going to win Rookie of the Year. I love Franz Wagner. I love the young guys on the roster, but it just comes down to experience. I just don't think that they're going to win a lot of games due to those reasons, When you get into a close game with a veteran team, can you handle it? The Magic aren't ready for that yet. But this is a team that I'd say give about 2 or 3 years, and it definitely will be in that playoff picture. Now, number 13, I got the Washington Wizards. And this is like an interesting team just off the fact that I think Bradley Beal needs to go. We've been waiting for this for a long time now. Bradley Beal needs to go. And, it's not because, the team is just, he can't be a star player for a team. He can. But he just can't lead a team far. And also, the talent around him isn't good enough to make a far playoff run. I don't even think they make the play-in, which is why I have them at 13. Yeah, they got Kristaps Porzingis, but he's always in and out of the lineup. Kyle Kuzma did have a good year last year. I expect them to continue that, but the Wizards are just not a good basketball team. They're going to finish 13th in the Eastern Conference. Now, number 12, I got the Detroit Pistons. And I know, if you've been watching my channel, I've been on the Pistons bandwagon crazy. I said they can fight for a play-in spot, but that doesn't mean that they will make it. I got them finishing 12th at 36-46. That's an improvement considering where they were last year and the year before that. I love the Cade and Ivy backcourt. I love the young core that they have. Sadiq Bey, Marvin Bagley being back on the roster would be nice. I think he is. And they got a flat out nice young core. And this is a team that I think is going to take a major leap probably next year. But I wouldn't be shocked if they made it this year. Who knows what can happen. But right now, the Detroit Pistons are the 12th best team in the Eastern Conference. Now, number 11, I got the Charlotte Hornets. And I think this team is going to take a little fall. I don't think they make the play-in like they did the previous 2 years. LaMelo Ball will show improvement, obviously. He's still getting better and better every single year. But I just don't like their team. I just think it's kind of a little bit the same. And they even lost some pieces. We still don't know what's going to happen with Miles Bridges. The Charlotte Hornets just not really in a great spot right now. I think they finished outside of the play-in picture. Now, number 10, I got the New York Knicks. And this is not bias. I just think that they're going to make it just based off the fact that these teams just won't win enough games. That's flat out the reason. The New York Knicks probably win about, I'd say, 40 games. I have them finishing at 40-42, so they're below 500 team. But I think them adding a point guard and Jalen Brunson, something they didn't have last season. And last year they won 37 games with Alec Burks starting at point guard. So getting Jalen Brunson, who's in the upper echelon of point guards, not a top 5 or a top 10 one, but he is above average. And then you got the young core getting better and better. RJ Barrett, I think, will show some improvement. Julius Randle should have a bounce back year. I don't think he'll have a 2021 bounce back year, but it can get worse than last year. So with that being in mind, I think the Knicks are good enough for the first play-in spot, or shall I say the last play-in spot in the Eastern Conference. Now, number 9, I got the Atlanta Hawks. And I know some people are like, oh, how can you say they're ninth? Their team is good. Don't get me wrong. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, John Collins, Clint Capella, they got a nice young team. Or they got a nice team in general. But I don't know. I got to see how it looks a little bit first. Defensively, they did improve a little bit, but there's still some question marks. So right now, I got them finishing 9th, 44-38 record, an improvement. But maybe they can finish anywhere from 6 to 10. That's the reality. I think that's where they fit. Anywhere from 6 to 10 they can finish, but right now I got them plugged in at number 9. Now at number 8, I got the Chicago Bulls. I think this is a team that's going to take a dip. Probably the most significant dip out of all the teams. You got Lonzo Ball, we don't know about him. He's coming back from injury, but he won't even be back at the start of the season. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan is a great duo, but I don't think DeMar DeRozan has the exact success that he had last year. Last year, he had a lot of great games. Not saying he can't perform at that level, but he was balling at a crazy level last year, and I just don't know if he can do that again this upcoming season. Nikola Vucevic is still a question at the center spot with his suspect defense. And I just, this team is kind of the same. They're the same team from last year. They're a good team, but they're not a great team. And they fit right in this little play-in pitcher spot. Now, number 7, I got the Toronto Raptors. And this is a team that's going to get better and better. They're 47-35. I think I have them around that area. And, Scotty Barnes is going to improve, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, etc. Their bench, I got to see a little bit more. Obviously, Thaddeus Young being back helps. But last year, the bench was a little suspect. Nick Nurse ran the starters a lot. And I think he's going to do that again this year, which is why they'll have regular season success. But right now, I don't see them better than, the top tier teams in the East. But they should improve, and they should be back in the playoffs, I think, once again. Now, number 6, I got the Miami Heat. This team's going to take a dip. I think this is the biggest candidate of a team to take a dip from last year. No PJ Tucker. He's gone. The toughness in that power forward spot is not there. Max Strus is starting at the 2 most likely. You got a lot of the same players. But this is once again, like I've mentioned for a lot of these teams, they're just not better than the teams I'm going to name that are in front of them, from a talent perspective. Now, the experience helps. When they get in the playoffs, they can make noise just based off the fact that they've been in certain spots. They know how to handle the pressure, so they can win games in those areas. But for the regular season, I think we'll see a team that's kind of going to just coast through it. They'll make the playoffs, and that's it. Now, number 5, I got the Cleveland Cavaliers. The team that I'm jealous of them. I'm jealous of them. I'm jealous of their rebuild. They took Donovan Mitchell. They got a good team. This team is going to be fun to watch. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell backcourt is going to be one of the more explosive backcourts in the NBA. We got Evan Mobley, who's going to have another good year most likely. Jared Allen, who's coming off his first All-Star appearance. He should just continue doing what he always does. The bench is pretty solid. The Cavs are a good team, and I think they're going to stick around for quite a while. This is just the beginning. I got them winning 48 games, going 48-34, and making the playoffs. The first time without LeBron James, the Cavs will be in the playoffs. And yeah, since that time period, that'll be the first time. So the Cavaliers will be a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference. And I think they're going to be one of the top 3 fun teams to watch in the NBA if you have League Pass. That's how good I think they'll be. Now, number 4, I got the Brooklyn Nets. And the Nets are an interesting team again because they can finish 7th, 8th. They can finish 1st. Who knows? But I'm assuming the team stays relatively healthy. And if they do, the talent is just undeniable. They should be good enough to win about 50 games. I got them finishing 50-32. I think they'll be a top 4 team in the East. I don't have them as like a legitimate title contender, but maybe if they make some moves at the trade deadline or during the season to buff up that defense, I think they can be a title contender with the roster they have. Having Kevin Durant, having Kyrie Irving, and Ben Simmons should help in the defense department a little, so we'll see how it goes. I got the Nets finishing at 4. Now, at number 3, I got the Philadelphia 76ers. I like the moves they made. They got tough. PJ Tucker, Montrezl Harrell, tough guys for that team. That's what they need. They fit the Philadelphia mold. You got James Harden, who's going to, look to bounce back I think he'll have a good season. I'm not saying he's going to average 28 and 9. I'm saying he's probably going to average 21, 22, 10 assists. That should be good enough. You got Tyrese Maxey. Joel Embiid should be an MVP candidate again. This time, I think they finished third in the Eastern Conference. I don't know if they're a finals team, but they got a chance to make some major noise if they can get, past the second round. Now, number 2, I got the Milwaukee Bucks. This is a team that, to be honest, can finish 4th, and it's not because they suck. It's mainly because they're going to coast through the regular season. They know what it's really about. The end goal is a championship. Giannis will be in the MVP conversation again. And the Bucks are just looking to run it back. That's it. The Bucks will be a top 3 team, I think. I have them finishing at 2. 53 and 29 sounds pretty good to me. And that's pretty much it, for the Bucks. I got nothing else to say. This is already an established team. They've won a championship. They're just looking to get back and try to, get that success that they had back in 2021. Now, number 1, I got the Boston Celtics. Now, last year, they started off really slow and then got hot. But I think them making the finals, they're just looking to continue that success. And I think this is kind of going to be like when the Suns made the finals in 2021. And then they just went crazy in 2022 in the regular season. I think the Celtics do that, but just not to the same degree. I don't see them winning 60 games, but I think they go 55 and 27. They finish with a top 3 defense in the league. And the Boston Celtics finished with the best record in the Eastern Conference. They are a championship contender. Tatum and Brown, Smart. I like Brogdon a lot. Whether he's coming off the bench or starting, who knows? You got Robert Williams, Al Horford, Grant Williams. The team looks good. And the Boston Celtics right now look like the team to beat in the East, if I had to give my opinion. Anyways, that's going to do it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. The link will be down in the description below. This has been the Checkup, where we talk hoops and hoops only, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.